Hi, welcome to Family Sense. Family Sense is dedicated to equipping every man, every woman, every husband, every wife with practical wisdom on family and marriage, especially in these toughest times. This is a production of No Regrets Communication, a division of Hope Education Network. Should you have any questions or need any information, please feel free to contact us on 0772 518 554. You can also contact us on 0754 734 738. You can also email us on noregrets@counselor.com. Right now, join in for insights from today's session. God bless you.
Of Menvu, he actually sells clusters. That means he must cut them to form clusters, and he's charged for it. If you think you don't need someone to help you, you just get a knife and try to cut just one bunch like this. Then if that is, you are still strong, cut the second one. If you're still strong, cut the third one. You realize you need help. So the help he gets to convert the bunches to clusters is 10,000. That was then 215. Is that Mother Agnes? In 215, we are talking about live business. We are not unimagined anything. Now, when the person adds that up, what do we have in total? For all the bunches converted to clusters, how much do we have in total? 900. What if he forgot and he just said, the other side I buy them at 750, and he forgot to count some of these costs? What would happen? And if he removed the 1,000 for market dues, what would happen? He would end up with how much? I've just removed market dues. How much am I having here? 899,500. And he will think he's still okay. Please, chikumi, don't ignore those small things. Is there anything difficult? Okay. Let us see what the indicative cost of each bunch costs. Are you seeing this yellow here on my screen? Indicative cost per what? Per branch. Per bunch, sorry. He buys the cost of each bunch is how much? 5,000 from the farmer. Okay? 5,000 from the what? Farmer. What is the cost of market dues? And divide by 150. You use your calculator. Market dues is 1,000. Divide by 150 bunches. How much is each bunch? 6.66. Please don't ignore. Did I tell you that an industry can break down by just 1.5 shillings? Yeah, so because 6.6 point begins to be confusing to people, okay, let's just make it 7. Not 6, because we shall be losing, but 7, because it also gives us room for, you understand? So we are using 7 instead of, because the 6 point, we can end up 6.500. Now what does that mean? So let's just call it 7 for now. But if we had studied our math, this business of decimals in P3 wise, what would have happened? These things would not be difficult. So we are also going for labeling. How much the labeling for all the bunches? 15,000. How many bunches do we have? So what does each bunch cost? 100 shillings. It's small money. But you see, when the bunches add up, it is 15,000. But when you look at one, it is 100. How many 100 shillings do you always ignore? There is someone I was teasing, and not teasing really, I was appreciating. I said, thank you so much for, that's a beautiful thing you have done. I opened my wallet and looked for coins. But I made sure he sees what is in my wallet. And you know, that day, my wallet is empty even right now. But that day it was loaded. Then I picked 100 shillings and gave it to him. Kanunako. I said, hey, okay. Kali, give me that one, I give you something. When I gave this, so thank you, bye-bye. He missed the lesson. Despising small one, 2 fishes, and what? By the way, what does Proverbs 13:11 say? We are counting 100, which, what does Proverbs 13:11 say? Mm-hmm.
Proverbs 13:11. The more easily you get your wealth, the sooner you will lose it. The harder it is to earn, the more you will have it.
You've had it, haven't you? And people like the easy things. And now as we count 70 shillings, 100 shillings, people are even getting bored. Anyway, are you seeing 100 shillings? So how are we getting the 90 in our line now? How are we getting the 90? Transport for purchaser from store to where he buys things from. How much did we have the other side? 13,500. And how many bunches are we bringing? So what is the matter there? 90. Are you seeing how those things are adding up? So purchaser, return from the purchase. What is the amount? 100. Are you seeing there? How about moving the bunches? What does it cost to move all the 150 bunches? Moving all the bunches, how much does it cost? 90,000. Divide by 150, how much do we get? You work it out on your calculators. I know you calculate Google on those but now let's calculate real stuff. 600 shillings. Are you seeing where all these things are being gotten from? So, what is the total for transport? 790. But there is also labor for offloading, which is how much? 40 shillings. So how much is the total or additional costs? 937. So if we have our 5,000, the price at which we buy the bunch, and we add the 937 shillings, how much is the cost of the bunch before we convert it into a cluster? How much? 5,937. Please, why counting 37 shillings? Doesn't that just make you like that is baby money, right? Yes? It's baby money. Okay. By the way, we are also converting the bunches to a cluster. How much is the cost? How much did it cost us there? They say 6,000. 6,000 divided by how many bunches? 150. How much do we get? 10,000. Okay. And then 10,000 divided by 150? But you know, 66, we might end up 66.900. And then we shall get lost. You understand? So let's do 67. Yeah. So there, how much is the total cost per bunch after clustering it? 6,003 shillings. Are you seeing the picture? Let us look at the cost per cluster. The cost per cluster is counted this way. You know, these bunches have a certain number of clusters on them, and the word average. When did you first hear about average? Or when did you first study about average? In where? In the P4. Were you told where you to use average? And you know, you only made sure you study average so that you may answer the exam for the teacher. Not showing how it works where? In life. Okay? But that we may make our life lighter. When we kept looking at the bunches on average, we found there were 6 what? Clusters on average. Some even had 5 clusters, but that would be small. Some would even have some 8 clusters, but that is too big a bunch and rare. On average, we ended up with what? 6 clusters per. Okay, so how much is the cost of a single cluster? What is the cost of a bunch?
5,937.
5,937.
This is without clustering.
Without clustering. So you divide by 6. What do you get? What is the cost of purchase per cluster? Okay, let's pick it up because we want to see the lineup from purchase. It is 5,000 divided by 6. How much is it? So we want to see the cost of transport in a cluster, cost. We want to see the breakdown. We are applying the same thing, lineup one by one. So what do we have?
It's 833.
833. And what is the cost of market dues per cluster? The market dues all together is 1,000. And there are 150 what? Bunches. How much is it per bunch? No. We are talking market dues. 7. Now, how many clusters are we having per bunch?
6.
So how much is it per? Yes. 1.11 because of the oneness and 2. Okay, this time we are allowing the 1.1. Either we do 2 or let's leave it at 1 because it would stretch things. Yeah, so 1.12. Are you seeing that? So the rest is also worked out like that. So what is the cost of labor for offloading per cluster? Are we together? Yes. So typically, and what is the cost of converting the bunch to a cluster? 11 point what?
1, 2.
So what is the cost per cluster?
1,001.
1,001 shillings. Let me ask a question. What is difficult so far? Is this math, is it calculus? Where do we learn this math from? P4, P3? The person who made you hate math, if I see him, I will box him in two. I will find that teacher who made you hate what? Because math is everyday thing. And we hate these things. The real difficulty is the hatred of the basics. Are we together? This doesn't require technical knowledge. And I remember, hello, Mr. Okelo and Mrs. Okelo. God bless your souls. Eh? Oh, they are very serious. Counting. You know, they are involved in pharmacy. They have a pharmacy somewhere in Gaias, and they have to count each tablet. They have to count what? the cost of each tablet. Now we know the cost if somebody is selling it as a what? A bunch. And if someone is selling it as what? A cluster. So, but this person does not end there. He also sometimes does delivery to what? Customers. Sometimes some customers buy at his store, but some bulk customers buy. They say, please bring for us.
Remember that you're engaged in a family sense gathering, which is dedicated to equipping every man, every woman, every husband, every wife with practical wisdom on family and marriage. I hope you're enjoying yourself.
Sometimes some customers buy at his store, but some bulk customers buy. They say, please bring for us. So this is what happens. When he wants to take his menvu to a customer, he uses 10,000 on his motorcycle. He has a motorcycle, a mate, and he puts his box on the mate. I'm giving you his work process. If you were using a pickup, the cost would be different. But he uses a mate together with his what? Box on it. And he also goes, after he has delivered, because the things are in a box, they don't just pick them out. They sell them, use them. When they are empty, he goes and picks the crate. What if he forgets to count the cost of going to pick the crate? Are you getting the picture? Every small step matters. And every small step costs. Okay? So how much is the cost of delivery? 15 what? 1,000. So the delivery involves picking the crate as well. Now next, cost of delivery per cluster, we want to know. Number of clusters for a trip, how many are they? 360. Because his box cannot take more than 360 clusters. So what is the cost per cluster? Yes, please.
Sorry for taking you back. The previous calculation, I don't know where the 5,000 comes from. He went using 10,000.
Yes.
Then he has come back. He has gone to pick the empty crates. Why is it now 5 and he used 10 when he was going there? Is it now cheaper than he was going?
You guys. I can see these guys can easily. Do you want to become vice president of Uganda or something? Because now she's becoming too wise. This is very serious. You need to clap up for her. And someone is going to answer the question. Tell us.
It is also possible that when the boxes are loaded, he is not going to take many.
Okay.
But when there is nothing in the boxes,
Okay.
he can afford to load as many boxes in them.
Oh, wow.
And he will use less fuel.
Less fuel. Is that fair now?
Also, in the trip to deliver, you could find that he needs like 3 or 4 people to help him load the cargo, but coming back, he needs like 1 person. So maybe the cost can be of empty crates, you need like 1 person to load and come back, you see.
Are we watching the work process and what it does in somebody's business? Without a work process, then can you count actually your costs? Are you seeing the picture? Really, these questions are healthy. And please, when you have an equation, it really puts, wait a minute, it is healthy. Good. So we continue. So he delivers 360 clusters in a trip. But it costs 15,000 altogether. So how much is the cost per cluster to deliver? 41.66 So which is, people say round up, round it down, round off, round up, round it down, round off, whatever that is, okay? Yeah, but anyway, 42 shillings is what we are having there, right? Rounded up. So what is the cost per cluster without delivering? 1,001, you remember? But when you added the delivery cost, 1,042. Why do we need to have the cluster without delivery and then cluster with delivery? Because some of the menvu are sold where? At the store. And he must know the cost. And some of the menvu are, sometimes we say, please, I'm buying this, but also bring them for me. Okay, put for me some money to deliver, put some, how much? Serious business, no guesswork. Count the what? And let me tell you, large businesses are in the business of counting small shillings. Failing businesses, which are always rotating around and around, don't count what? So they always remain like that, and they change from one business to another to another. You started a restaurant here, then you fail from here. I think this place is not good. Let me change another place. But you are doing the same bad manners. And then after you have run out of the money, costs, altogether, then you go and borrow from uncle whoever. Now when you fail, you change from uncle A to auntie B to brother C to cousin 4. And say, what do they begin to say? He's unserious. How does it affect your relationships? By the way, is that very much like how we tend to be? Hey, I know those. By the way, Pastor
Mike, I hope you know why some of those brothers in your congregation don't talk with one another. Because someone borrowed, and then I know we are same brother. You know how when you are in the same congregation, you begin to feel good towards one another. Then suddenly you realize Sister X is no longer speaking with Sister Y because they are not in good relations with Brother X. Hello? Yeah. So we go. We have to grade these things. Okay? Because not all bananas are of the same quality. These are real things. And not all what? Clusters are going to be very good. There are these other clusters which down there are not what? Those small down there, you don't sell them the same price. So please don't forget to grade. So this small cluster here will be so much. But all of them have cost you the same price. Because you bought one batch.
Yes. But you are going to sell. Are there some clusters you won't buy even at 1,000? Yes? There are some clusters you say, this one I buy at 1,000, I will give you 800. Why? But what did it cost him? 1,000. How do you handle? Please, for the sake of not making the illustration too long, allow me not to talk about the grading for now. But it has its own what? Importance in the process. And we did not use it enough. Now let's go to pricing. How does this person price? How does he set the price? Now, if we are going to understand how we set price, by the way, in the market, prices of a cluster of bananas in the market, how much is it? In the market. How do they arrive at that price? To say that the market price is this. Sometimes location, feel good. You sell in Kololo at 20,000 a cluster, right? Because people, an impression. And you think those guys don't count? The guys in Kololo? You are joking. I'm one of those who will, even if you target me thinking I'm dressed like a rich man, and then you think you will cheat me up, you will not. I know how to count. No, not costs. The price at which you give me, I count how much money I have and what I should spend on those bananas. Because I'm not a wild person. I'm not financially wild. But one who survives on deals. Who survives on what? Doesn't care how much he spends. And by the way, counting costs does not make you mean. It actually teaches you to be what? Very deliberate and thankful to God. There is a time in the year 2005, Mrs. Mwesugwa knows, no, 2000, was it 2003, 2003, where I just counted. You know how you go somewhere and somebody gives you, and nobody gave me more than 2,000 shillings in a particular month of 2003. And you know, somehow somebody say, bless you, bless, and I'm talking, what am I saying? 1,000 and what? You know, you have done something, so please. When I added up the total amount, it was 247,000 in 1 month. Is that someone's salary? But just little monies given to me. Somebody just comes and says, please accept my little money. So thank you so much. And I want to appreciate that small money. It was 247 shillings. 247,000 shillings. When sugar was still 300 shillings. In those days, you go and check your prices. For me, I follow these prices. Like I follow that a year ago, a liter of fuel was 3,600. And now it is 5,000. By how much has your cost of fuel increased? Just by that change, 1,500 shillings. You know what that means? So for me, I follow the details. And I saw when the fuel prices increased, many cars began to find themselves not parked. People still wanted to move, but they were ending, when he's going to Gaba, he ends at where? At Kabalagala. And you would see people with cans. And I say, it's not, and you know what? By the time you pick a can to go and buy fuel, does it mean you didn't have the money? You didn't bother to adjust your mind to say, now that the fuel has increased, the same journey I've been using 50,000 to go to, by how much has it increased? Do you ever bother to adjust when things change? Hello? Are we in counting costs? Things change. But let me tell you, today a kilo of sugar is 3,000 what? 500. It's 5,000. So imagine a kilo of sugar at 300. And I get 247 shillings. 47,000 shillings. Now a kilo of sugar is 5,000. How many times are those? They are about 12 times. Now you get 247,000 shillings. To know its real value today, multiply by that factor. Just by 10, how much is that? 2.47 million shillings. What can it do? What can 2.47 million shillings do? Can it hire this room for a day? That is the point. Small things matter. And when you are disciplined in there, it actually, if you are maintaining yourself in the ways of God, it makes you even more generous. What does John 13:17 say? 13, verse 17. I want to understand that.
It
What
says
does
that now you
know these things, God will bless you for doing them.
What?
Now you know these things, God will bless you for doing them.
Like, how do you get blessed?
By doing.
By talking about them. Eh?
You do what you learn.
People, let's be serious. And the truth is, we tend to find ourselves broke all the time because of indiscipline.
Family Sense is on a mission of teaching God's truth for reforming marriages and building families throughout the nation. Stability of our nation can only be realized with well-founded families and marriages. We therefore invite you to engage in Family Sense gatherings. Should you have any questions or need specific assistance, please feel free to contact us on 0772 518 554 or 0754 73 4738. You can also email us on noregrets@counselor.com. God bless you. We look forward to seeing you next time.